one team that certainly does have PSR issues is Leicester. There's been reports this week that their case could drag on until next year, which I thought was quite a surprising development. I thought it was relatively closed case. So they were going to struggle on that one. Is that likely could go on until next year?
Yeah, it was a bit of a strange article because it was slightly contradictory. It suggested that they expected a penalty of up to 6 points. Now, a penalty of up to 6 points is pretty serious and suggests that they are aware that they have breached by quite a bit. Remember, we're talking here about 22-23 still, because of the way that they've delayed the whole process. We're still talking about the season 22-23. There is also likely to be another breach for 23-24, which will also be heard next season. The article suggested that it would all drag on because they would have the first hearing regarding 22-23 in the first half of the season, but then there would be some kind of elongated process to appeal that, and then that would come through in after January. But I don't really think that's likely. I think if there's no real reason why that hearing on 22-23 shouldn't take place, let's say in September, maybe October. You would think that about a month later you'd have a decision, and then you would think within about 6 weeks of that you would have an appeal and an appeal decision. And we know the timescales that can be achieved on these appeals from the Everton appeal and the Nottingham Forest appeal. So although they're not guided in the same way because Leicester weren't captured by the change of rules, which gives this very accelerated timetable, I would think that the teams would, the teams, Leicester and the Premier League's teams, when they get in front of the Independent Commission, would agree to timetables that are relatively quick. I mean, it's just not the same as the City appeal because, we're talking about the comparison of, let's say, a 3 to 5 day hearing on Leicester and then a decision that follows that, comparing that with a 10-week hearing on City and, the hundreds of pages of decision that follows that. They're just not the same. So I think I'd expect the process to run quite quickly after the initial hearing. So I wasn't really sure about the stuff that was in that piece about Leicester, and I do think that it seems to admit in the article that they will get a points deduction for this year. So and quite a big one. So I'll take that at face value. I agree. It does look like they will get a points deduction.